As of today, Argent Veil now works with the Zealot charm set, so I thought I would try a Zeal build. Here it is. It pretty much slices and dices its way through all T12 content. It is an absolute blast to play. Good for speed farming. It struggles against bosses, but otherwise, it's probably one of the few off-meta Paladin builds that can really feel comfortable in T12. Let me get into it. The backbone of the build is a regular Zeal build that is using Argent Veil to evade and supplement your damage. This has an extra synergy now in Season 13 with the expansion adding the Zealot set, which gives you after images which spawn when you move. Now when you move with the Argent Veil, with the evade, you're also spawning more Zeals, which will give you more after images. Together, you get a very smooth, satisfying wall of yellow numbers as you slide forward and cut through your enemies with all crits. Let's get into the gear breakdown. Best in slot is obviously Arrow of Perdition for the helm. You want to get crit cap after that. The other things don't seem to matter too much. I'm using Tyrell's Might for defenses on the chest. You could replace this with one of the other defenses if you don't have it. For the gloves, I am using Zealot's Covenant. This is necessary to get your maximum fervor up. As far as the affixes, you want to just get as many multipliers as you can on here. I do need one piece tempered for Arbor Duration. Pants, I have Heavenly Strength, that fat 40% damage reduction. There is between your defensive items, you can spare a few of them, depending on how squishy your character is for fanaticism potency. Otherwise, you'll want to just go for max life on all your tempers. For boots, I have Undying just to keep to help mitigate that life cost. On the boots, it is important to get attacks reduce evades cooldown. You get a higher roll, a GA, or if you want, you could even masterwork crit it. If you attack once or twice, this resets your attack, so you can pretty much spam attack and dodge. You want to put on your amulet, each stack of fervor gives you bonus crit damage. It's the highest damage aspect in the build. And again, you'll just want your multipliers here. I did go with another max life to get a little bit more survivability. Zealot skills do more damage, double it at 3 seconds for it. So, Argent Veil is of course necessary for the whole concept of dashing and casting Zeal. And of course, Red Sermon for the sword. I did try another sword. I even had a 5 GA sword that was an excellent sword, but still couldn't compare it to the free Death or Glory variant on the Red Sermon. So notice that I got one with life on hit here. It seems really necessary to keep your life from falling down just by casting it, but you might not need it as much with Argent Veil. Let me get into the skill tree here. I have max strengths, of course, in Zeal. I went with the extra crit chance and weaken variant, and 2 extra strikes, and Zealot's Legacy. Max out your Fanaticism aura as well as Defiance aura. Pick up an extra, actually 2 source. Want to rock the extra passive stacks there. And an extra crit damage on there as well as potency. The defensive Defiance aura, I went with max life. If you want the unstoppable, you can do that too. It's more potency down here, and then the passive heal just for resolve. Rally, you don't actually put this on your bar, but you do need it because you're set casted for free. You could leave it empty, but this helps you reset the cooldown of consecration. It doesn't really work per charge. I think it just gives you 3 seconds every time it triggers automatically. Set bonus. I increase the duration. You can go with more crit if you need it. I think I'm actually over crit cap for Zeal, so I want the increased duration just so the overlapping of the survival, because the sec makes Rally gives you 30% damage reduction. And then more move speed over the cooldown cost because I'm casting it. I throw excess points. No, I did not. In my normal Zeal build, I throw excess points into Falling Star because it actually does a lot of damage. But this here is just extra charge and vulnerable kills reduce cooldown. So you can really do this a lot. Then you have to go with this so it becomes a Zealot skill. Concentration, just need 1 rank. Increase the duration and size and makes you do damage, as well as fortifying a little bit. It's like your primary source of fortifying the build. So you want to kind of spam it. You can spam it pretty well with the rally triggers, shorten the cooldown. So it's not bad. And that just left me 14 points for Arbor Justice. That's plenty. I seem to have no trouble keeping it up with a couple cooldown reduction rolls on the rings for tempers. I went with the vulnerable just to make sure I had 100% uptime on vulnerable. The other ones don't really do that much for you. And of course, increased duration and reduce cooldown. So that's the skill tree. I'll pop over to the Paragon. My glyphs are Chip, Fervorous? I don't know. Spirit, exploit honed. Let's talk about the boards real quick. I have Relentless. You have to have that cooldown reduction. It's just a great board. Every build should have it for Paladin. Fervent. Preacher. Excellent. These are, you know, good Zeal boards. Must have. And the last one is Castle. For the charm sets, I just went with a full Zealot set. Tried to get +3 Zealot skills and resistances where I can on various pieces. For the unique charm that you put in your build, Griswold will actually get your damage to a reasonable state. Without it, build kind of struggles on damage. You have to, you can use Endurant Faith, but your damage really plummets. Touch on runes real quick. I actually cut the wolves out because I needed the quality of life from the vortex to pull enemies in. And then I also have Bulwark coming in from 12 core skills, which actually is pretty quick with the rate which you cast Zeal. That's pretty much the build, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, all my builds are solo self-found. I did not spend a ton of time on this build, so it's not hyper-optimized. I'm actually over cap, I think, on crit and a couple other areas. But I'm happy to hear feedback. If anybody else has tried this, got any tips, suggestions, I'll incorporate them into the planner once I add that. Thanks, guys.